Also breaking right now, within the last hour, we learned of new threats in the city of Springfield. They are now forcing at least 3 separate schools to close for the day today. Right now, there is limited information on this about exactly what those threats are, but here's what we can tell you.
Yeah, it looks like the entire community of Springfield, Ohio is being shut down because of, I'm going to call it like I sees it, you know, because of aggrieved white racists threatening to bomb or shoot these facilities because there are Haitian migrants there. Legal Haitian migrants. Are they worried Haitians will eat their children? I know that's a joke message, but I want to remind you, the people who are doing this are almost certainly not in town. They are out of town. And what's more, they do not care about white children, because if they did, they wouldn't be doing this. These schools are mostly serving white children, okay? The reason they do this is because they are motivated entirely by hate. They would, the average white racist would happily lynch 100 whites if it meant getting to 1 black person to lynch.
Tell you right now, the Springfield City Schools District says students are being evacuated to an alternate location because of an email that was sent. This comes less than 24 hours after bomb threats forced the evacuation from government buildings in that city. Of course, you know, the city of Springfield gained some national attention on Monday when former President Donald Trump made claims that...
Where did this ghoulish shit come from in the first place? A Facebook rumor about someone who heard that someone they knew had lost a cat and thought it was a Haitian who stole it in Springfield, Ohio, but the person who started the rumor hasn't, to my knowledge, given up the person who they said they knew, who said... It's literally like a telephone game that ended up getting broadcast by the former president of the United States during the debate.
Haitian migrants were eating pets in that city. Ohio Governor Mike DeWine and Springfield city leaders have repeatedly said there has not been any evidence to back those claims.
We need help, not hate. Springfield is a beautiful city. We are not...
Does this count as mass hysteria? Yes, objectively, 100%.
You know, we are not imploding on ourselves. Unfortunately, right now, we have to focus on making sure this rhetoric is dispelled, that these rumors are they're just not true. You know, Springfield is a beautiful place, and your pets are safe in Springfield.
You can follow
An
our
insane
coverage, our reporting on what's happening in Springfield
that you have to make
by going to 10tv.com. You'll find the...
Absolutely psychotic. This one's a bit of a cut from Haitian Times. Haitian families in Ohio under attack as racist claims spread. As false claims spread, the more unsafe Haitian immigrants are feeling. Not exactly surprising. Developing story covers Newsbreak. Downtown Springfield investigate a bomb threat. Yeah, because this keeps updating, like day by day. There's more newer stuff. My niece was scared, but I told her to go to school, that God would protect her, said one Haitian resident who asked that she not be identified publicly for fear of reprisal. We're all victims this morning, said the woman who moved to Springfield 6 years ago. They're attacking us everywhere. Remember, Springfield literally asked for these migrants to come. That's not a joke. They requested migrants come to their city. Springfield, Ohio was dying. Children leaving, the population strung out on drugs, no one doing any work. The city was dying. They wanted to be a haven for immigrants because it meant new labor. Because if you have a rational understanding of how the economics of the situation works, if you have a town dying and losing population, increasing the population will help with the dying. It's very, very basic math. Aside from the anxiety caused by Tuesday night's debate, the woman also said her cars have been vandalized twice in the middle of the night. She woke up one morning to broken windows and another to acid thrown in the vehicle. She's added cameras to her driveway and tried to report the incidents to police, but to no avail. I'm going to have to move because this area is no longer good for me. She said, I can't even leave my house to go to Walmart. I'm anxious and scared. Okay, well, in fairness, it seems like these random racist attacks are keeping her from going to Walmart. So maybe she's being done a favor. Haha. Ha, get it? The Haitian family's account, shared with the Haitian Times under condition of confidentiality, are the latest tales of intimidation, bullying, and assaults as anti-Haitian sentiment has gone viral. Haha, good one, streamer. Thank you. You know, we love to keep a little bit of levity in dark times. It goes on for quite a while. The sentiment of the rest of the article, which I skimmed because I have ADHD, continues as such. You understand the deal. Isn't this a crime? Yes. Breaking people's windows and throwing acid onto their cars is a crime. It doesn't always mean you get the perpetrator, and there is no guarantee that the Springfield, Ohio police force gives a single shit, you know? The police department itself is denying that any, you know, cats have been eaten or whatever, but that's mostly because I suspect they don't want to be on the hook for false claims, and they don't want to be seen as incompetent. Probably a copper through the acid anyway. I mean, not unlikely. When will the National Guard be sent in to quell these Yakubian apes? Well, apparently the governor of Ohio has actually sent in the National Guard to assist in safety and medical facilities, though I don't know if that means they're going to be responding to, you know, vandalism calls. In fact, it won't, because that's not their job. You see the Haitian community respond to their bullshit. I love, live now from Fox, I love the title of this video. Haitian pet eating controversy. Oh yeah, that's definitely an accurate description of what's happening. Again, this is a completely debunked claim. They just all know they need to keep lying to keep this going. It was state troopers, not the National Guard. Ah, thank you for the correction.
Claims that immigrants are abducting and eating people's pets out in Ohio. Let's listen on Live Now.
To America, what happened to United we stand? Now they are calling for divided we stand? This is outrage. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm getting calls, my legislative office, and also I want to also give recognition to Assemblywoman Miguel Salaj, who could not be here, who's at a press conference in New York City. But our offices are both receiving so many phone calls. People are scared, especially next week in light of the visit by President Trump in Uniondale. They fear that this hateful rhetoric is going to continue to permeate our discussion and continue to destroy our community. And so I'm getting a lot of calls. I want to recognize Mr. James Lynch, State Senate candidate, who's here. Mr. Noah Burrows, who's here also. Thank you for.
And you know you've got a united front when a white guy called Lynch is on the side of the Haitian migrants.
Hempstead also run for assembly. A lot of great people here. Mr. Kedner Stevens, again, thank you so much for the Kedner Stewart Foundation. And we have some community leaders. We have Ms. Charles with the local civic. Thank you very much for being here. I really appreciate you. Mr. Cadet, thank you. Madam, I'm sorry again if I didn't mention everyone. I would also like to bring forward to speak. We have another leader that, again, Mr. Varyn, would you like to say a couple of words, please? Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Varyn.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Many years ago, President George Washington at Toro Synagogue in Rhode Island made a speech where he said, "To bigotry, no sanction." And he addressed the Jewish congregation there. And those words have been in my mind all my life. And that's how I live my life. I'm active in the Jewish community, but probably my most famous claim to fame is I'm the papu, or the grandfather of Noah, who's 5, and Sophie, who's 3. And I want them to be able to live with all children of all denominations, and that's what we strive for. That's what Martin Luther King professed, and that's why we're all here today. And we will not accept such horrible things from a past president who did no research, who just constantly tells lies. And it's a shame and it's a travesty that Blankman and other people have invited him to come to Nassau Coliseum to speak, because surely the Republican Party could come up with a higher quality candidate than this despicable person. Thank you.
I don't think that the activist community in New York is going to land on much, considering it's New York and we know they're going blue. Aren't there a lot of Haitian immigrants in Florida? Florida, Phoenix. Nearly 500,000 Haitian Americans in the Sunshine State. 3 sit in the Florida House of Representatives, municipal government. Florida and New York have the biggest. Well, I'll always expect that, like, New York has the largest immigrant community of any kind, just by default, I suppose. It makes sense that Florida would have a lot, considering where Florida is relative to Haiti. It's kind of crazy, too, because this is such... I feel it's difficult to really go on about this without, like, doing a historical deep dive, but the claim that spooky foreign migrants are eating your pets is a very specific one that comes up over and over and over again in history. You know what I mean? It's this mix of, like, they're poor and backwards enough that they go after pets, and they don't respect, like, the civil, you know, civil society. They don't respect law. And then there's, like, the like, voodoo, you know, dark incantation, blood libel type stuff as well. They did this with Japanese and Chinese people pretty recently. Yeah, they do. Yeah. It's half the reason we keep making jokes about, like, oh, cats disappeared. Is there a Chinese restaurant nearby? Which is racism, obviously. It comes up over and over and over again, you know? J.D. Vance has moved on to bringing up racist claims about Haitians spreading AIDS. Ah, yeah, I saw this one too. J.D. Vance now says Haitian immigrants are spreading HIV after bizarre pet eating claim flops. In fact, I even saw the clip where he said this. Let me see if I can find this. That's an old one. Well, you know, the CIA only invented AIDS a few decades ago, so it's not that old. But
I guess I would say is he brought up this misleading false claim that you yourself have talked about in recent days about Haitian immigrants in Springfield, Ohio, abducting people's pets and eating them, which officials there have said is not true. You yourself acknowledged it may be false on Twitter. You still told people to keep spreading it. But Trump just amplified it to tens of millions of people who were watching. Why push something that's not true?
Well, first of all, city officials have not said it's not true. They've said they don't have all the evidence.
They said they have no evidence.
We've heard from a number of constituents on the ground, Caitlin, who both firsthand and secondhand reports saying this stuff is happening. So they very clearly, meaning the people on the ground dealing with this, think that it is happening. And I think that it's important for journalists to actually get on the ground and uncover this stuff for themselves when you have a lot of people saying my pets are being abducted or geese at the city pond are being abducted and slaughtered right in front of us. This is crazy.
He's literally just repeating things on Twitter that he saw. There's like one image of a black guy holding a waterfowl, which, by the way, the idea of right-wingers getting upset at the unlicensed hunting of waterfowl, are you insane? In the Midwest? Oh yeah, dude, that's 100% something they get upset over consistently. Are you joking right now?
Stuff. And again, whether those exact rumors turn out to be mostly true, somewhat true, whatever the case may be, Caitlin,
or not true, but these claims that I'm making, whether or not they turn out to be true,
this town has been ravaged by 20,000 migrants coming in. Healthcare costs are up, housing costs are up, communicable diseases like HIV and TB have
this literally, like, and this feeds into the claims that they make about like migrants raping, you know, because the thing they want the Republicans to believe is like, yeah, 20,000 Haitians came in and started like raping white girls and now they all have AIDS or whatever.
Skyrocketed in this small Ohio town. This is what Kamla Harris's border policies have done. And I think it's interesting, Caitlin, that the media didn't care about the carnage wrought by these policies until we turned it into a meme about cats. And that speaks to the media's failure to care about what's going on in these communities.
The soy right, seriously. The soy right, dude. No one cared about blacks invading Springfield, Ohio until we memified it. Until we applied a bit of meme magic.
If we have to meme about it to get the media to care, we're going to keep on doing it because the media should care about what's going on.
I saw you say that. I think the media does care about it. I just read a very lengthy report in the New York Times on it. PBS NewsHour did a whole story on it. But can I ask you,
us talking about it and bringing it up, nobody cared about this until we raised this issue.
Senator, you talked about that your office has gotten a lot of...
This is yet another old and tired racist trope used against immigrants, they bring in disease. I genuinely hope that, like, the American Hispanic population, which has been shifting more and more right with time, in large part because they want to differentiate themselves from the illegal immigrants who come in from Latin America, I hope they understand that all of this fear-mongering about immigrants bringing in disease and destroying the communities they enter and everything, none of this has anything to do with the legality of your entry. The people who are in Springfield, Ohio, are legal immigrants. They're legally some of them, a lot of them came in before Joe Biden and Kamala Harris were even the president and vice president, respectively. They came in during the Trump administration. It's entirely a race thing. There are a bunch of suckers out there, you know, legal immigrants, Hispanic, black, you know, whatever. There are even I'm being told there are even black Hispanic people, if such a thing can be imagined, who think that it's about like legality, you know, follow the rules and there's no issue. But they'll come after you regardless. It is just a race thing. Yeah, my Mexican family members are way too quick to take up racism against Haitians. They will say the same damn thing about your people, man.
Reports. I mean, if someone calls your office and says they saw Bigfoot, that doesn't mean they saw Bigfoot. Why? I mean, you have a sense of responsibility as a running mate, and he certainly does as the candidate to not promote false information, right?
Caitlin, it's a totally fair point, but nobody's calling my office and saying that they saw Bigfoot. What they're calling and saying is we're seeing migrants kidnap our dogs and cats, and city officials aren't doing anything about it.
That's not even the case either. Like, that's not even a claim that's been made to the local. Do you really think that's the case? That if somebody saw their pet getting kidnapped by a Haitian migrant in the town of Springfield, Ohio, they would go ahead and call the national office, the campaign for Donald Trump's reelection, and they wouldn't call their local police department, which says they have not received a single credible case of this happening?
Now, again, I have a responsibility as a United States Senator. I think the media...
Like, there are in, like, Florida calling the Trump office and being like, yeah, I live in Springfield, Ohio, and I just saw 50 cats get eaten right in front of me. They were all my cats, and the Haitians ate them, and then they just run with that. I mean, they know they're lying. They don't even need the pretext.
Media has a responsibility as an institution that cares about truth to actually take people seriously when they say their lives have been ruined by this migrant crisis. And again, if every single thing that the media says about this story is false, the verifiable facts are that this community has had their lives destroyed by 20,000 migrants.
The objective, verifiable fact, the empirical, provable fact is that everyone here has had their lives destroyed. This is the VP candidate, man. You know we're pretty goddamn close to the wire. They're all Nazis. They're Nazis. The hell is this? Swans killed and fish vanish as migrants pillage river for food. Migrant workers have been accused of raping and pillaging a river by preying illegally on fish and swans. This is in 2010 in the UK, I presume. Witnesses claim fish are being caught out of season and using inhumane methods such as long lines with multiple hooks which are left in the water overnight and cause a slow and painful death. Last week alone, 5 Polish men were caught fishing illegally in the area. Yeah, in Britain. Okay. They love doing this shit, man. The goddamn Poles. Daily Mail supported Nazis in World War II. I don't even think that's a very impressive claim. Like, there are tons of media outlets who are essentially supporting Nazis right now. Every Republican-aligned outlet supports Nazis. It's not an exaggeration. We're literally, this rhetoric is insane, dude. It's psychotic. This whole story seems like a new line's been crossed that wasn't previously crossed. Do you think that a pogrom-like event could happen should Trump win? Yeah, 100%. Yeah, absolutely. That's what they want. That's what they're gunning for. Jesus Christ. Look at, dude, you look up Springfield, Ohio. Obviously, Fox News sources come to the top because those are the kinds of people who are, you know, looking up stories on Springfield, Ohio. Springfield, Ohio resident. This is a dystopian nightmare. Influx of wild driving Haitian migrants turning streets of Springfield, Ohio into combat zone. These people, I can't say it. I can't say it. YouTube, I love you, YouTube. I can't say a damn thing. These people are the Nazi propaganda ministers of our time, is all I'm going to say, okay? They're just like the Rwandan, you know, radio broadcasters. Yeah, they're all Goebbels. Goebbels. Tell me if there's a damn difference.
Everyone is talking about the death of ducks and cats in this town, but I'd like to talk about the death of one very special person, my mother-in-law, Kathy Heaton. On December 1st, I received a phone call that changed my life forever. She was collecting her trash can from her driveway when a car struck and killed her instantly. A task she had done over 2,000 times, spanning 4 decades in Springfield. That morning, though, a Haitian immigrant was allegedly driving recklessly when he struck and killed her.
Allegedly driving recklessly? Also, car accidents are one of the most common ways people die in this country. I wonder how many white people have died in car accidents in Springfield, Ohio as a consequence of white people's driving. That just doesn't get reported on.
I say allegedly because to this day, there's been no punishment.
Oh, so this didn't happen. I see. Gotcha. You say allegedly because you're lying. Because it's yeah, that's the state would definitely like forgo pressing charges on somebody who did vehicular manslaughter. That's true, because they like favor Haitian migrants, you know. So this didn't happen.
Not even for the expired tags on the vehicle he was driving.
How do you know that there were expired tags on the vehicle?
Months before she was
Why
killed.
would you say allegedly? You're not legally on the hook for this claim. Under no circumstances would you be held legally liable for this. If you said they were driving recklessly, like, you're not going to be sued for this. I think she's lying. Sorry.
I began noticing the reckless driving and complete disregard for our driving laws by some members of the Haitian community. It made me angry. But now my anger has turned to fear for the safety of my family and the citizens of Springfield.
They have not been acclimated to the laws, the rights, the responsibilities associated with being an American citizen.
Getting into car accidents is the law, the right, the responsibility of American citizens. Reckless driving is the God-given providence of living as an American. What are you talking about?
Ohioan or a resident of Springfield, especially when it comes to the rules and regulations of operating a motor vehicle. While I appreciate the efforts that the Ohio State Patrol and the governor has announced today, we have seen countless incidents in our area of vehicle crashes involving, unfortunately, people of Haitian descent.
and somehow just not being reflected in any of the crime data because crime apparently has not been rising. Like, can I get proof of this from the police department, or is the police department pro-Haitian? With the exception of firearm-related injury, which has recently jumped up in civilian deaths in the United States, motor vehicle crashes have been right up there. They've also been coming on up. They've also been coming on up recently because everyone's driving a gigantic pickup truck where you can't see children underneath the front bumper. That graph is for children? Oh, you're right. Yeah, children and adolescents. Yeah, guns and cars, baby. Guns and cars. And we're getting a lot of drug overdose and poisoning, too, for the baby crowd, you know?
You look at Springfield, Ohio. You look at Aurora in Colorado. They are taking over the towns. They're taking over buildings. They're going in violently. These are the people.
Spotlight right now over the massive spike of Haitian migrants, some 15,000.
All Goebbels, I'm telling you, people, a democracy cannot survive the existence of these people in positions of power in media. They will rebroadcast any narrative, any Hitlerite message, if it favors the right. They don't care about lying. There's literally no concern on their end about this. We know for a fact the legal system does not act quickly enough to silence them when they're weaponizing lies to hurt people, you know? What, we wait years from now for defamation claims? No.
Who have arrived under the Biden-Harris Temporary Protected Status Program, or TPS. That makes them, through the program, legally here.
Yeah.
And again, I want to mention the number, small town, 15,000 have come into the city.
What a gift.
Just 60,000 in the past few years. Ohio Governor Devine.
They got the non-white speaker in this one, so you can't accuse her of being racist against Haitian migrants. Very smart.
Has announced in the last 24 hours that he is going to send $2.5 million along with a boost in law enforcement on the ground to help that community manage an untenable situation right now. He also explained how the migrant influx is hurting Springfield.
These dramatic surges impact every citizen in the community, every citizen. The moms who have to wait hours in a waiting room with a sick child, everyone who drives on the streets, and it affects children who go to school in more crowded classrooms. This is, a very unprecedented situation in Springfield. We wish we had some help from the federal government.
Republican Governor DeWine there explaining why they need federal government help. It's a federal program that put them in this position. Now, the people who live there were at a city commission meeting this week, including one woman who lost her mother-in-law because of the situation.
We saw that.
Let's watch this together.
On December 1st,
don't care.
My son had to give me his house.
We, the people, have the ability to ensure our streets are safe.
Schools are overcrowded. Our education system has went in the trash. Housing.
How can your shit be overcrowded when your town's been losing population? It sounds to me like this just means your town is growing. This is literally just a sign of growth. You lost tens of thousands of residents to your dying, shitty town, and now more people are coming in, and there are growing pains? Wow, what a surprise.
Is another issue. The overcrowding in housing. My son had to give me his house and move to another house.
What?
Because I can't find housing.
Is there a cut?
What? What? Were you not in a house? Your son had two houses? What?
Off point that, for the population.
All these strung out white trash motherfuckers in their like 50s and 60s, the last vestiges of this dying Midwestern Rust Belt town being gifted the presence of migrants who actually work for a living and don't just like rely on federal benefits like I bet you half these people are. That's true. You can call me classist. They don't care. It's not exactly difficult to prove that. You can just look at like any chart that measures which states get the most federal assistance.
Here, or I feel like there should be a no vacancy sign right now, and people are still coming in.
I want to make a point really clear here. This isn't exactly the same thing that other cities far from the border are seeing, where Democrats have accused Republicans for busing people in. This is through a Biden-Harris administration. Remember, he put her in charge of the border. A Biden-Harris administration special program for Haitians at this time. So they are looked upon now as being legally in our communities.
That's because they are. They're not looked upon like they're legally in the community. They are legally in the community. That is how laws work. If it is made lawful, then it's lawful. That's how laws work.
Particularly Springfield, Ohio. Now, that's important to note, because if one side starts pointing fingers at the other, Democrats to Republicans as they have, don't you dare let them get away with they were bused there, because they weren't. Many of them want to stay in that community. They have jobs. But the collision of population.
Wait, did she just imply Democrats are the ones who are propagating the idea that they're there illegally? Did she just imply that Democrats are the ones lying about their legality status because that would allow them to pretend they were bused there rather than they came there willingly? Jesus Christ, these people are all nobles. Like, it's genuinely insane.
In Springfield.
When the Biden-Harris administration rolled out the red carpet for millions of migrants, they didn't just ship them to Texas and New York. Thousands were deposited into small towns across the country, like...
Oh, wait, hold on one second. I just heard from the other lady that Democrats were the ones propagating the narrative that these were illegal migrants who were bused over there. Now, this Waters over here is like, yeah, they've been deposited in Springfield, Ohio.
Springfield, Ohio. That had a population of 60,000 until Kamala imported 15,000 Haitians who know nothing...
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought Democrats were the ones who were saying that the Haitians were forced here. And now here I am. Watching Jesse Waters say that actually it was the Democrats who did that. I'm very confused. You can't keep your narrative straight, even on the same damn network.
About our culture and come from the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere. Violent crime skyrocketed 142%.
Where I need a source on that. Can I get a source on that? Springfield, Ohio, violent crime 142%. Please, I've not seen any data. Okay, well, I found a source when I Googled it. You'll never guess who it's from. Hi, Jesse Waters, and the segment that we're currently watching. Is there a source to this statistic that isn't you, Jesse Waters? That would be very nice. Oh, wait, hold on one second. I found another source. It's Instagram and... Oh, Jesse Primetime. Hello, Jesse Waters. 142%. Okay, can we perhaps find... Okay, gotcha. Okay, wait, here's one from TikTok.
When the Biden-Harris administration rolled out the red carpet for millions of migrants, thousands were deposited into small towns across the country, like Springfield, Ohio. That had a population of 60,000.
Democracy cannot survive these people. I hope you all know that.
Who know nothing
this is
about
the lesson that liberals need to internalize, okay? This is the lesson that they need to understand, all right? It's not enough to merely win in the presidential election, okay? These people need to be, I'm not, this isn't even like a mean bit. They should be arrested. This should be a crime. Is being Goebbels a crime? I thought it was. My impression was that was a crime. I thought that was a crime you could be punished for, being Goebbels. Hold on, I found a non-Jesse Waters stat from David L. Hagen. It's got one like. It looks like it's just a guy, and it's from 2 days ago. Hold on, here's TMZ. Locals are freaking out about crime spikes, saying violence is up 142% from 2019 to 2022, according to FBI data. The data doesn't track crime by immigration status. Oh, News Nation. I thought it would be a link to the FBI data that they were referring to. Are we ever going to get to this elusive FBI data? FBI data shows violent crime went up by 142% from 2019 to 2022, the latest year data available. The agency does not track crime by immigration status. Can I get that data, please? Okay, I'm on ucr.fbi.gov, okay? We're getting to the bottom of this one. There are multiple Springfields. Okay, Springfield. Okay, Table 8 by city 2019. Okay, so can I get the 2022 numbers that they're referring to? I can't find the 2022 numbers. I can only find the 2019 numbers for Springfield right here. Okay, citydata.com shows a different story. This is the Springfield crime rate. How is that up 142%? Or is it just violent crime? Is this going to be one of those things where it's like 4 people got like strangled to death during COVID when everyone was at home all the time? Like white pensioners killed their wives 4 times, so we got a like 5 times increase in violent crimes or something? If it doesn't sort by immigration status, then this data is useless anyway. He meant 1.42 times? Wait, is that true? When he says up 142%, does he mean up 42%?
15,000 Haitians who know nothing about our culture and come from the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere. Violent crime skyrocketed 142%.
When you say skyrocketed 142%, you're implying that the rate is 242% higher than it was before. You are not saying that it's at 142% relative to the previous 100%. That is not what those words imply. That's not the same thing, Wild. No, when you say skyrocketed, like up 142%, otherwise he would say is at 142%. He's saying crime was 2.42 times higher, but it seems that it was actually 1.42 times higher, and crime increased everywhere during the pandemic, and it doesn't even sort by immigration status. Again, jail sentences for a long time. How many years did Goebbels deserve?
Car accidents spiked. A migrant in a minivan smashed into a school bus, injuring 20 and killing an 11-year-old boy.
I've heard of that
Trash
story.
started piling up in the streets.
Yeah?
The town changed overnight.
Oh, any data on that one? Oh, I'm sure this town was super clean beforehand. This dying Midwestern town. I'm sure, yeah. I'm sure the gutters weren't already choked with beer cans.
This issue is not a Republican or Democratic
well, we
issue.
keep seeing the same testimonies over and over and over again, coincidentally, always from aggrieved white people. Oh, wow, look who's up next. Whoa, look who's up next. We just keep hearing from the same people over and over and over again.
People are calling the cops, reporting Haitians are eating their geese.
I see a group of Haitian people. There was about 4 of them. They all had geese in their hand.
How many geese did they have?
They each had 1.
Now, the media won't play you that 911 call.
The media won't play you this snippet of audio that no one gives a shit about. One guy calling, no follow-up information or police report. He could be saying, the media doesn't want you to hear this tiny snippet of worthless information. As if people in the Midwest have ever cared about people hunting geese. Are you kidding me? How do they even know they're Haitian?
Media won't investigate the story at all. Because if they did, they'd have to report on the dangerous migrant payload Kamla unleashed on Springfield.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Again, I thought that the Haitians migrated here of themselves and that they weren't, like, deliberately dumped here. I'm getting conflicting messages from Fox News.
It's like living in a dystopian nightmare. You hope.
And somehow all of the stories, all the testimonies we're getting are worthless-looking white people crying into a camera. No evidence, no police reports, nothing. And we never hear from the Haitians.
You wake up and it's 2019 again, and then you realize it's 2024, and it's the same thing over and over again, day after day. What's happening is a disruption of the smaller neighborhoods, and it has never been
That's the substantial complaint you have, a disruption of the smaller neighborhoods. So, like, when teenagers throw a house party, that's what we're dealing with here. You know? Yeah, migrant wave destroying Springfield. The symptoms of this destruction? Well, the neighborhood has been disrupted.
race issue. It's about color. It's not about color. It's about day after day. What's happening is a disruption of the smaller neighborhoods, and it has never been a race issue. It's about color. It's not about color. It's about culture. Your once close-knit community has now been changed, and there are people in your neighborhood that you don't know, that don't speak your language.
Me when it's not about race. My neighborhood is being worsened in ways I can't describe. The culture is different. They don't speak my language. Everything is changing.
That live a different lifestyle from you, and
they live a different lifestyle from me. No, I can't explain in any specific ways how my life is being made worse, but like they make me uncomfortable.
It's going to cause some tension.
The people of Springfield are begging for help, and help's on the way, just not for them.
I don't know of a single homeless.
Wow, I've seen that guy too. We just keep elevating the same small group of people.
20,000 migrants to a small Ohio town, and they let it fester.
There's a place called Springfield, Ohio, that you've been reading about. 20,000 illegal Haitian immigrants.
Even Fox News has said they're legal, but I guess we're just going with illegal now. Who cares?
Have descended upon the town of 58,000 people.
Descended upon, yeah, like an invading army.
destroying their entire way of life. This was a beautiful community, and now it's...
It was a dying shithole Midwestern Rust Belt town that deliberately courted immigrants because they were losing so many people that their town was in a death spiral.
Horrible what's happened. On day one of my administration, I will stop this invasion. I will seal the border. I will end the Harris migrant flights. And I will begin the largest deportation.
Again, and I know I keep saying this, but it needs to be understood by the people who are watching. No victory in 2024 is a victory unless something is done about this. Something. Okay? And I don't mean Springfield, Ohio. I mean this Goebbels shit, okay? It is not possible to run a democracy. It's not a Pepe posting thing. It's not a it's time thing, okay? This is literally true. You are always, this is basic class analysis, okay? The bourgeoisie are trying to, they feel threatened by populism. They are trying to direct people's populism along racial lines because it prevents people from focusing on class issues, which is why Donald Trump can pretend to be like a hero of the American worker while being the most anti-worker president reasonably possible in terms of, like, you know, actual policy. As long as people are getting their news from sources like this, we can have no peace in this country. We will never be free.
Operation in the history of our country.
Mark Sanders lives in Springfield, Ohio, and he joins us now. All right, so Mark, how would...
Another mediocre, dying white man. You look great, man.
Is Springfield, Ohio, of all the towns in this great country, picked to receive 15 to 20,000 Haitian migrants?
Not really sure. I know that back a decade ago, a previous mayor and a local minister created a pipeline to repopulate Springfield after its dwindling population after one of our manufacturers downsized. And that was mainly people from Mexico. That pipeline...
Your population has been dwindling for decades. The Rust Belt thing, that happened decades ago. American manufacturing was dying well before NAFTA. NAFTA just kind of like finished the deal there.
Existed, and when the influx began back in 2020 and 2021, they just utilized what already was there. And
2020, huh? That's interesting. Who was president back during 2020? Out of curiosity.
They've been coming ever since, not in the volumes that we've seen the last 2 years.
Oh, of course.
But it's been a gradual increase.
So how
and the
is...
number right now, unfortunately, is closer to 30,000.
30,000.
50,000. 100,000. Uh-huh.
Okay. How has that changed your town, Springfield, with 30,000 Haitians living there?
I'm sure the founders would have rewritten the first if you told them this would happen, but as written, how would you get around freedom of the press? It's not a freedom of the press thing. It should just be illegal. We literally had this until Reagan got rid of it. Like truth in broadcasting. You just can't lie all the time if you're a media organization. I think that's really, really fair. I like, you know, and it's pretty easily enforceable too, as long as the people enforcing it aren't fascists. Like, that's it. Yeah, the fairness doctrine, thank you. It's incitement to violence, and it's just dishonesty from media. These aren't opinions that are being espoused, they're just flat out lies.
Well, number one is lifelong residents have been moved out of their homes that they've rented for decades.
How?
People who own their homes have accepted very high offers, and then they've been turned into basically...
Oh, no! Somebody living in a Midwestern dump that was worth $5 got offered a huge payout so their house could be turned into apartments. They got these dying, you know, like federal benefits reliant dipshits suddenly got a windfall of $500,000. Oh no!
Dormitories by landlords, both American and Haitian.
By landlords. You sold to them. That's their choice.
There's a lot of greed.
Notice, by the way, how we're seeing the exact same video clips over and over again. The fact that this is what they're choosing to show us, the same video shot of like the three Haitians, I assume, outside a food joint, like this is the scary video footage they have of them. Trust me, if they had video footage of a bunch of Haitian migrants doing an like voodoo dance over a cat corpse, or like sitting in the middle of the street, you know, like frying up a bunch of pet meat on a grill that they made out of you know, aluminum siding. If they had video footage of that, I promise you they would be playing it right now. This is the scary sight that they have to show you. All that trash, the way of life being ruined, this is it. It's three guys outside of a restaurant.
On both sides of the fence, we have a temp service, temporary staffing service that actually is probably employing about 95% of the those that have arrived here that are working.
I trust you. Yes, that's so true. I bet you that of the 30,000 Haitian migrants you claim are here, that one temp staffing service is employing like 27,000 of them. I think that's definitely real. I trust you, random man. Now, and this is another one of those like fairness doctrine things. Rather than Jesse Waters lying, he can just get some random moron to lie for him, you know? Oh, it's not him lying. There's no case here for slander because he got a random dipshit to just say stuff on him. And this guy's not a public figure. Media outlets have to be held accountable for the statements made on those outlets unless they are challenged, you know?
They aren't. Not everybody's working, and people will say that. Not everybody is. But the staffing service owns 63 homes. Those homes are used as dormitories.
63 homes.
They shuttle the workers to and from their jobs so they know they go. He takes a portion of their check, charges them for transportation, and charges them for lodging.
Yeah, that's it. Yep, that's a temp and housing agency. That is how that works. You have described it. Thank you. Yeah. They're often like pretty exploitative, but they're also potentially a really good way to help new immigrants sort of get their footing, you know, because they get like a dormitory, they get driven around because they don't have driver's licenses. It's pretty like, it's a thing, you know?
So people are financially preying on the...
Sorry, does Jesse Waters have a problem with landlords? Is that a thing that Fox News is taking a stance against now?
Haitians, as they replace you, they've basically taken people living there and now they're not able to live there anymore.
How?
What are we hearing?
He just said they chose to sell their house at a higher price than they would have gotten otherwise.
About people's pets disappearing. You keep hearing that. Is that even true?
Oh, hey, it's not going to be Jesse Waters lying. It's going to be this random idiot racist that we brought on to uncritically rebroadcast all of the Nextdoor and Facebook posts. These people aren't even wealthy enough to use Nextdoor. All the Facebook posts from his neighbors that he's seen.
You know, there's a lot of vicious rumors floating around. I will tell you that our geese, our duck population is nearly decimated in our two parks. There have been, well, you played the 911 call.
Any evidence of this?
The city manager of Springfield denied it existed, and I do appeal to him tonight on your show for a public apology to those that he told a non-truth to. There is a report, there is a 911 call, there was a witness, therefore there was an incident in my...
That's not how that works at all. That's not even remotely how the concept of truth works. Someone said it happened, therefore it happened. Someone made a call, therefore... Me calling 911 to say this guy on the right, like, raped his daughter? I don't know. I said it. As far as I'm concerned, that means it happened.
As far as the cats and dogs, I think that's a bit sensationalized. I won't say it hasn't occurred. I've heard from others it has, but nobody's ever given a infallible...
Unbelievably, this guy is actually exercising better judgment in truth-telling right now than basically everyone on Fox News and Donald Trump by saying, I don't know for sure. Like, he's actually operating at a higher standard of journalistic credibility.
Description of when, where, and who.
Yeah, we heard some rumor about some lady eating a cat in another county. She wasn't Haitian. It's just gotten crazy. People are saying you're an anti-immigrant city. How would you...
Springfield was a pro-immigrant city, at least in policy, up until the Republicans decided that they could use it as another, like, fear-mongering. Dude, this country is so cooked if Trump wins. If after all of this... okay, here's my line on this, okay? However anti-rural and anti-white and anti-male you thought I was before, we're gonna bust open, we're gonna knock open the champagne bottles. If Trump wins, we're hitting levels that you could not imagine. Okay? We're going to approach like Hotep levels of counter-racism, that the likes of which you could not even begin to believe. Fun fact, geese and ducks fly south for the winter. Do you think it's literally that? Do you think it's just a migratory pattern thing? This guy's just like, I don't know, 83 IQ, He sees there are fewer geese and ducks and stuff, and he's like, "Ah, man, why? Where are they going?"
Respond to that.
Nothing can be further from the truth. What we are is a city that only wants our safety, security, and sovereignty back.
Sovereignty? You're a city. You're a city. What are you talking? People, saying sovereignty with, I want my neighborhood sovereignty. F you. Sovereignty? Yeah, you want to make a little city-state, Springfield, Ohio? Make it a war zone, man. Why not? Declare, secede from the Union? Sovereign city.
When you...
That's the king of Springfield you're disparaging. I'm sorry, my liege.
When you have...
Me using jester's privilege to call this guy a daughter rapist, you know? Like,
obviously, the incident that occurred a year ago, we've had total upheaval because of it. Our food pantries, they get stripped.
That's what they're there for. That's what food pantries are there for, to provide food for people who need food. If you have an issue with that, then you're the literal, like, explicit message you're sending is, I'm okay with hungry white people getting fed, but not hungry black people. That is literally the thing. If you want there to be more food there, then congratulations, the Haitians are contributing to your local economy.
Clinics, which is Rocking Horse, is a federally funded clinic in town. Their budget was decimated. In Haitian, clinic means hospital. Our emergency rooms are overrun.
Yeah, man. Haitians, definitely the only group of people in America who treat emergency rooms like a walk-in clinic. I've been in rural areas. I've known rural medical practitioners. I know what you people are like. You diabetic are getting dragged in there by EMTs every other weekend because you stopped feeling your left foot. I know what you're like. You're already buried in so much medical debt that it doesn't matter past a point. And the ER is the only place you can't be turned down from, and the clinics are non-existent because your town is dying. God, I hate these people.
Of course, nobody's being compensated unless they've actually checked in with the health department and qualified for the Medicaid. Our roads are like, it's like Escape from New York, and everybody feels like Snake Plissken.
My mom blows her back out like 20 times in 40 years because of extremely fat people and there being not enough equipment to move them around. Yeah, you don't have enough forklift licensed users in Springfield, Ohio to cart around the white population. Then you see videos of all the Haitians who are like lean and mean, and they get jealous, you know?
You don't know if you're going to get from point A to point B without getting run over, run into, or have a SUV flip over in front of you. And again, the bad driving is multinational.
This is unironic class treason. This is exactly what I mean when I say the strategy of the Republican Party is to take class grievance and turn it into racial grievance. This guy is complaining about unaccessible rent, not enough clinics, not enough medical facilities and staff. Medical costs are too high, like not enough staff or stocking in the food bank, you know? Like he probably lives in a food desert because it's a dying Midwestern city, right? There's probably like one grocery store in the whole town or whatever. Probably not one, probably like 3. He's literally describing like all of this is classist. This is done to serve or to facilitate the deprivation of the working class, but he's being taught that, well, no, actually it's because of like black people, and the median voter falls for it 100% of the time. I want to be clear here, it's white people who do, because these racial grievance politics are directed towards white people. There are literally studies on this, how in attempts to build unions in mixed race workplaces, racial diversity hampers the likelihood of a union forming, but not because of the non-white people. It's because of the white people who don't want to join a union with non-white people. Think like white factory workers, and there's a bunch of black or Latin people there who don't speak their language. Or like textile mills in Los Angeles, where there's a lot of like, Asian people. Or like, service industry stuff, where a bunch of people in the back end are Hispanic and they only speak Spanish or whatever. And the white people are the ones generally who are most resistant there. White people are the ones who get targeted for this racialized rhetoric. You know, it's not like Republicans are out there talking to black voters, fear-mongering about white migrants coming in and stealing all their jobs or whatever. This is pretty usually like white people are the suckers here. White people are the ones who get targeted for this. And it has nothing to do essentially with white people. It's not a brain chemistry thing. It's just that in a circumstantial sense, like, because white people are the, you know, majority population and the ones who tend to vote Republican in this country, they're the ones who get targeted with that, you know, racism. That's all it is. It's not good. And it hurts white people. It hurts white people. The poor white citizens, the unmelanated folks, the Yakubian experiments of Springfield, Ohio, have been suffering due to the economic deprivation that the Republican Party, well, let's be clear, both parties, but mostly the Republican Party seeks to promote and continue and extend, and they are fighting to have it be made worse due to, you know, the inflaming of racial grievances. It really sucks. Again, we always have to approach this from an anti-essentialist perspective. And when I make white people jokes, I'm doing it because I think it's funny. But in reality, like, the actual political doctrine here is an anti-essentialist one. It has nothing to do innately with anyone's race. It could be Haitians. It could be any other group. It could be white people. It could be any other group. This guy's decor scares me. Yeah, this is very like live, laugh, love Jesus. Very, my wife got this corner of the room. But I guess if I was going to appear on Fox News, this would be the corner I'd broadcast from as well.
I don't want to sound like it's only one group that's doing it, but I think that they're the most that's happening. I mean, they have between 4 and 6 wrecks a day, and probably over 50% of those are people without licenses, without insurance.
4 to 6 car accidents a day in a town as small as Springfield, Ohio. I don't believe that, especially because a lot of the people who are coming in, they don't even have the ability to drive. You don't just get the ability to drive right away. They're migrants. That's the reason why they're like housing dormitories are driving them to and from their work.
And have no English skills.
That must be sending car insurance rates through the roof. Anything you want to tell Kamala Harris before we let you go?
I think Kamala is kind of like that spouse that cheats on you and says she'll stop when it's your anniversary.
Wow, man, I did not think you could project that hard, that quickly. That's crazy, man. You just bared your soul open to us. You doing all right? Do you want to tell anything to Kamala Harris? And he's like, yeah, Kamala Harris is like this interracial porn image, okay? So, you know, she says she'll stop seeing Tyrone, but in reality, like, man, you're just letting it all out for us, aren't you? Really? That's what Kamala Harris reminds you of? A wife who engages in infidelity? Not much reminds me of that. Maybe this is just my youth and inexperience, you know. This guy, I don't know, he's in Ohio, so maybe he's like 32 or something. Maybe he's only 2 years older than me. But there are basically no things in life that make me think this is like when my bitch wife cheats on me. But I haven't had this guy's, you know, I haven't had this guy's experience, you know.
All the things she's promising to do, she can do now. She just chooses not to. She's not the one for the White House. She's not the one.
All right, Mark.
Asking the median Republican voter to say anything about Kamala Harris without mentioning her race or her gender or relating it in some weird way to sexuality.
Now to Springfield no longer feels like her home.
Oh, I
Diana
saw this lady.
Daniels joins us now. So Diana.
Residents that I've known for years. City commission meeting, this thing to deal with, because the city has always been a close-knit community. We have pockets of neighborhoods, and
me when I'm describing a sundown town. All right, that's enough. That's enough. I just, yeah, we need to end this segment. I don't know, like, I don't even know what the editors are going to title this one. I need you guys to understand, none of this is innate. In a good world where Fox News and associated media outlets didn't have the ability to rampantly nonstop lie constantly all the time relentlessly about stuff in a deliberate effort to incite a pogrom, all of the people, all the Yakubian experiments that I'm bitching about could be like actual warriors of the proletariat, okay? Like, there are plenty of examples throughout history, in American history even, where the rural white working class has been like a powerful force for righteousness. And the only, like, really what changed that? Honestly, a lot of it was talk radio in the car. I'm not kidding. Like, genuinely, that was a huge part of it. You can literally follow the political disposition of this community and see how it changed when every time you turned on the radio, you had some racist mother rambling about how America was being destroyed. You know, thank you, Rush Limbaugh. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he was the main, he's the guy for that, you know, but it's a broader thing, of course, but he was the guy. He was in fact the guy. It's really sickening. In a good world, they wouldn't be like this. They should be allies. And their world, their life would be made better if they simply, you know, linked arms with the Haitian migrants and welcomed them in, as one should do to all migrant communities. When you shun them, you make their lives worse, you make your life worse. You're already in a dying Midwestern town, man. It's not like you're in New York City where the town is going to boom no matter what, right? You're in a dying town. You invited immigrants there, but they were a little bit browner than you wanted, and you've become the subject of a culture war, and it's just, there's no way forward for our democracy if stuff like that is allowed to continue to broadcast. I feel like a lot of lefties don't realize how bad talk radio is because they don't listen to it. Yeah, it's been a while since I've heard talk radio out in the wild, just like while driving around, you know, because I used to do some rural driving, and you can get some really nasty stuff. I'm not exaggerating when I say that, like, a significant portion of the American population is essentially listening to Nazi propaganda. I'm not joking. It's not an exaggeration. It's literally like frothing at the mouth. Black and brown people are destroying our country. Like, Western society is crumbling. It's insane, and it's just you get blanketed with it. In terms of square mileage, like most of the country.